Now more than ever, innovative technologies are fueling change and sparking new ways of thinking. Collaboration between corporations and startups is key to staying at the forefront of these trends. However, finding the right startups can be expensive, time-consuming, and ineffective. But Plug and Play is here to help. As a corporate partner, you will gain access to a whole ecosystem of innovation. Discover startups that meet your tech interests. Stay updated on the latest trends and network with industry peers. We will help you during every stage of your innovation journey, no matter where you are and where you want to go. Get in touch today.
If you really want to drive change, you want to go to the place where the vehicle is being made, but also where the infrastructure is being determined. And Michigan is that place.
If you want to be number one in mobility, if you want to be number one in automotive, why not go to the number one place?
Detroit is a key location for us as Plug and Play, especially in the mobility field. So mobility got started in Silicon Valley in 2016, and then we expanded into Europe and then also Asia. And we felt like something is missing in the United States as a mobility hub, and Detroit was the obvious choice for us.
As a big company, it's hard to be nimble. How do you get this large body of people to recognize the need for change and the agility of that's not working, fix it? Normally, we have a procedure and we follow the procedure. Well, that is fundamentally flawed and fundamentally slow.
Being a founding partner of Plug and Play Detroit, it's opened the door for us to be able to have access to more startups than we would have previously, and naturally fostered working with them to propel initiatives forward.
So for sure, a company like YF, as well as our competitors, customers, need to have that look at how do we pretend like we're a team of 10 instead of a team of 10,000.
When I think of automotive in North America, I don't think Silicon Valley. I think of Detroit, I think of Motown and the Motor City.
So the Detroit office launch party for Plug and Play is dope. I mean, we've met people from Stellantis and GM and all these other places, and you wouldn't have normally had this situation in any other venue. It's great to be here, be with the people, meet these amazing people from these companies, and it wouldn't have happened without Plug and Play.
We have found Plug and Play as a spectacular partner to help facilitate that development.
Plug and Play has picked the perfect time to be in the perfect place for the future of transportation of the 21st century. Watch out, Detroit. Plug and Play's coming, but watch out, Plug and Play Detroit's coming.
Hello. Welcome. First off, I just want to say, wow, I can't believe we're here. The first ever Plug and Play Detroit pitch competition. Yeah, let's give it a round of applause. So far, this has been the biggest event that we've done since launching, and this is amazing. Thank you for being here with us. My name is Brooke, and I'm leading our partner success efforts here in Detroit, meaning I support our corporate partners, which we'll get to today, with introductions and exposure to startups from our network. So as the video shared, we're here in Detroit really hitting the ground running. With our Plug and Play Startup Arena over there in the corner, home of about 80 mobility startups from all over the world, this pitch competition, and our upcoming new partner announcements, we're so proud to be here and engaging in the ecosystem in this way. And I need to say, without our founding anchor partners, without Stellantis, BorgWarner, the Office of Future Mobility and Electrification, and the Michigan Minority Supplier and Development Corporation, we wouldn't be here today. So with that, I want to bring up someone who is an incremental player in bringing Plug and Play to Detroit. To give a few remarks about how we got here is Mamatha, the Global SVP for Software and Business Management at Stellantis. Mamatha has been a core partner and key advocate for Plug and Play and our local presence in Detroit. Without her and her team and leadership, I can pretty confidently say that Plug and Play Detroit would not be where we are today. I would like to hand the mic over to Mamatha and have her discuss the importance of bringing an open innovation platform to Detroit and why now more than ever it's needed. Mamatha?
Thank you so much, Brooke. I think it's really nice to see Plug and Play here in Detroit. I think when I first started my partnership with Plug and Play, I was with ZF or ZF, a tier 1 supplier. And I took ZF to Plug and Play and opened ZF's offices among all of the startups in Silicon Valley. That's how my partnership and a corporate partnership between Plug and Play started. And then when I moved to Stellantis, or Fiat Chrysler back then, and Stellantis, I was having a discussion with MMSDC. And with a few of the tier 1 suppliers, a few OEMs, and all of us were having a conversation. I still remember Syed the median looking at him and saying, you know, this is where mobility was born. This is where the automotive industry was born. And for Plug and Play not to be in Detroit is not a great thing, and you need to come here. And I'm so happy that there are 80 startups, and there are almost close to 12 partners that are supporting Plug and Play today. 12 corporate partners, not just Stellantis, but a lot of OEMs, a lot of tech companies, and a number of other players that are supporting. And I'm so happy also to see the government participating today here as the judge. So I'm extremely happy, extremely thrilled to see the startups. There are 3 startups actually in the audience that we are actually working with. One is Sheeva.AI. Sheeva, if you can stand, you know, we have recently introduced with Sheeva.AI an e-commerce marketplace in India. So we've turned our cars into wallets. So when the cars go into a gas station, they can pump the gas, and with Sheeva, they can pay for the gas, not play, but pay for the gas, and making it really convenient. And then we have something that is very close to our heart is the safety of our customers. And there is a startup called Haas Alert. And what Haas Alert does is they have a safety cloud. And they work with all of the first responders in various municipalities. And we get these alerts through the safety cloud, and we display them in our cars and alert our drivers that there's an ambulance approaching them, or there is a first responder approaching, so that they can take to the right lane and give way to an ambulance or give way to the first responder. And we have been able to bring that capability into our cars, into our Jeep, into our Dodge Ram vehicles within a few months. And we have gone all the way back to our 2018 vehicles and have done an over-the-air update of this Haas Alert, this emergency vehicle alert system. And the third startup that we are working with is Miles. And with Miles, you can get miles. It's a reward program. You can get, for every mile, you get a point, and you can take those miles and convert them for discounts at our Mopar store. Or you can donate it for any kind of charity. And during Thanksgiving, 80% of our customers donated their miles to charities. So we were extremely proud. Not only Stellantis contributes to our communities, but our customers too were contributing to the community. And this startup was able to help us. So I hope that you find the startups interesting, and you'll select a few of them to work with. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yeah, as I said, we're really happy and proud of all the corporate partners on our network. And yeah, thank you again so much for your remarks, Mamta. So it's an amazing opportunity for us to be hosting this pitch competition, and we believe a great way to give startups from our network exposure into the Detroit ecosystem. And if anyone here thinks that Detroit is not really a relevant market to global startups, I'm here to say that after this experience at this auto show, that's just wrong. In terms of our exhibitors, we had over 130 applications to be in that corner back there, and the top 80 were selected. For this pitch competition alone, we received 84 applications, and our panel of judges, who I'll introduce in a second, voted on the top 13 finalists you'll hear today. These startups are within the top 15%. Let that sit in, just how much interest we had in this market here. So I think it's something to be said about the region and where we're at. So without further ado, I want to introduce our judges, starting at the end. If you could stand and then, turn around. Terry Yim, project manager with AGC Automotive. Then I have Jeff Nichols, the global vice president of Ricardo. Barry Jones, the chief engineer at Sanyo Trading. Fran Ellenboss, senior advanced product development engineer with Joyce & Quinn Automotive. Kurt Baumgarten, partner at GM Ventures. Tom Watson, technical fellow at Tenneco. Harry Husted, chief technology officer at Borg Warner. Tripko Blajeski, manager of digital innovation at Stellantis. Sean Simpson, principal portfolio manager at Amazon Industrial Innovation Fund. Liz Morgan, account executive at Google Cloud. Charlie Tyson, technology activation manager at OFME. And then last but not least, I want to bring up a very esteemed guest that we're very proud to have, the Lieutenant Governor, Garland Gilchrist. Garland?
Thank you. Thank you so much. Can y'all hear me? This is very exciting to be here at the North American International Auto Show, here in Automobility, in partnership with Plug and Play, to showcase the ingenuity, innovation, and imagination of the future of the mobility industry right here in Detroit. Congratulations to every startup that's participating in the show and participating in this pitch competition, because we are here to demonstrate not just to America, but the entire world, that from Detroit, from the state of Michigan, the ideas that will drive people, goods, ideas, and services to be better connected, they start right here. So thank you everyone for your partnership and participation in this exciting competition that represents the future of mobility and connectivity. Governor Gretchen Whitmer and I are so elated to be supportive of Plug and Play here in Detroit. The Office of Future Mobility and Electrification, I'm gonna be honest, that's my baby. I'm an engineer by training, a software engineer, a recovering entrepreneur at that. And we want to let every person who has an idea know that your idea has a chance to be successful here in Michigan. And the infrastructure we've put in place to make that possible, with our generational investments in education, with our investments in our workforce, the professionals in Michigan who are unmatched in both their talent and tenacity. When we put all of that together with the ideas represented here, there is no challenge that we cannot overcome. There is no problem that we cannot solve, and there is no value that cannot be created with the partnership and collaboration that comes from events like this. So thank you so much for being willing to be a partner and a participant, and I hope that we lay a foundation for an amazing and innovative future at this competition. Thank you so much.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, the Lieutenant Governor of Michigan. Let's please give him another big round of applause for being here with us today. All right, Detroit, good evening. Are we excited? Are we doing okay? Can I get some sound? Amazing, welcome everybody. My name's Alina, I'll be your MC for the night here today. And yeah, guiding us through the pitch competition that we're all here for. So Brooke was saying it earlier, we actually had more than 80 applications for this pitch competition, and we've selected 13, we haven't actually, our esteemed judge panel has selected 13 finalists to be pitching here on that stage. And I think they're all winners already and definitely deserve another round of applause. So as mentioned, these 13 finalists are actually here from 4 countries, so the US, Canada, Germany, and the Netherlands. Each of them will have 3 minutes on the stage to pitch their technology to our judge panel, to our audience, and everybody else that is interested. Our judges will have the opportunity to ask one question right after. If you do have more questions, I would kindly ask you to keep them for after for the networking part, as we will be running out of time. And then after the session, the judges will be getting together to define the winner based on the novelty of their idea, the level of disruption, the impact of the solution, and the overall pitch. And the winner of tonight's pitch competition will be winning a spot in our Silicon Valley Winter Summit at our HQ in California that's coming up in November. So we're excited to see who it's going to be. So without further ado, I'd actually like to kick it off and ask our first startup here on stage from Aachen in Germany, working on battery intelligence to enhance safety and performance. The company is called Acure, and I'm very happy that KP is with us today, so give him a big round of applause.
Hey everyone, thank you for the invitation. Thank you, Alina. So, I'm KP, Kai Philipp, and I've been a battery researcher since 2009. And being here at the show and seeing all these new electric cars, seeing that e-mobility is really taking off, it's just so great. Like, it's finally happening. And I believe that batteries are really the cornerstone of our mobility, but also of our energy future. And at Acure, we make batteries more safe, more reliable, and more sustainable using cloud computing. So, batteries are great, but sometimes they come with challenges. And an unexpected battery downtime or failure might be annoying, and then that's that. But as Mamatha said, safety should also be on everyone's mind. And when we're driving this new technology into the market, we need to make sure that it's safe. But we have seen over the last few years too many incidents. A big Tesla battery in Australia caught fire. This happened this year, 2 electric buses in the middle of Paris streets on fire during operation. And just 2 months ago, a Jaguar I-Pace caught fire in Miami. And these are just, single examples. There have been thousands of cases. And so to make this technology successful, to get where we all want to be, we need to make sure that batteries are working safely and efficiently. And one part of the solution of this is software and data analytics. There's other approaches, of course, too, but we're a data analytics company. And how data analytics can really help here is every battery is already generating data through its BMS. The battery management system is a small chip. And this data today is not used in a structured way. So what we do is we bring the data into the cloud, we use physics-based and data-driven models to dig deeper into these elements and then come up with analytics that can tell you if a battery is about to catch fire, about the resale value, how to treat it better. The great thing is, it works with any battery. We don't need product modifications to go. The other great thing is, it's not just a great idea, it's a very scalable business. We're already managing over 500,000 batteries around the world in applications from micromobility to OEM automotives to stationary battery systems. Our customers grow pretty fast. We support them in that. Just one example from this year, in March, a German company that has 65,000 home storage battery systems in Germany had 3 fires within 2 weeks. They brought us in afterwards, and we were able to prove them that with our algorithms, none of these fires would have happened because we would have able to catch them weeks before the incident. So we're outrolled for them completely now. Nothing has happened ever since. Short about the team, I started the company with 2 of my old friends. We met each other during martial arts 10 years ago. We were all coaches at the university. We've grown the team within 2 years to 70 people. We started our US subsidiary this March. And we have big plans for the future. Quick view on funding, we raised 10 million so far. And our goal is to really support the battery industry to make batteries successful and safe and good. Thank you all.
Thank you. Do we have any questions for KP at this point? Anyone? Don't run off. Nobody? All right, I guess we're good then.
Please ask.
They might be a little shy. We'll get it sorted later if there are any questions. Thank you very much. KP, Acure. And with that, we're going to be turning to a company that is, taking things off the beaten path, so to speak, by creating mobility experiences outside the urban environment. A company from Germany, and we're excited to have Moritz here with us from Bearways.
Thank you. Hands up. Who of you remembers your first car? Pretty much all of you. Frankly speaking, why do you do so? It never was a gorgeous car, I bet on that. It was some crappy, old, often broke vehicle, but you have experiences, you have memories to it. You remember going on spring break. You remember going on parties, maybe to the beach. You did things in the car your parents shouldn't know. You created emotions with it. Am I right? And on the other hand, do you think that you will remember which kind of car you're currently driving in 10 years? Do you think that you will create memories with your current car? Probably not. But we at Bearways, we are here to help. Our target is to be able to create mobility experiences with your vehicle based on the capabilities of a vehicle, based on the brand, based on your personal preferences, and real-time data. Why is this important? Well, it's not that important if you just travel downtown and bring the kids to kindergarten. But no one remembers that car, maybe your kids, but probably you not. But outside of cities, in rural areas, you have much to experience. You can create memories, you can experience vehicle capabilities, you can experience acceleration, off-road capabilities, you can visit beautiful spots and maybe visit restaurants you don't know yet before. And all this creates memorable branding experiences where the OEMs, where the car makers can help you create the memories that makes a stickiness to a brand and to a vehicle. We do that by aggregating as much data as possible from various sources on a global scale. We use satellite data to cover spots where we get less data from ground sensors and ground data. And then we use machine learning and deep learning for the non-engineers. It's AI to create a Bearways data engine where we can create these services. The use cases are pretty wide. Today, we're working in the area of scenic routing and e-vehicles. We can help to create exactly these experiences. But the next step will be to extend the horizon in assisted and autonomous driving. Because in the rural areas, we won't be able to have an HD mapping with updated data every 15 minutes as we might have downtown Detroit or in the Silicon Valley. There will be curves, and the car will not know what's happening around the curve. And this extended horizon beyond the line of sight of a car's sensors is something we can support with. Bearways, we were founded 2019 in Lübeck, outskirts of Hamburg. We're an experienced team of automotive engineers. Our last startup we sold to the French Valeo Group. Today already, very well-known sports car manufacturer, car maker, has launched our service publicly, and we're working together with companies like Mercedes-Benz or TOG, those are the only two I'm allowed to mention, on global projects. We're strong on IP, we're always looking for funding, although we're pretty safe on the side right now. Thank you very much. My name is Moritz van Grottus. I'm the CEO of Bearways.
Thank you very much, Moritz. We can take a question if we have one. Otherwise, we might just skip that for later. And yeah, thank you very much, Moritz. Bearways. Now, as you can tell, I'm not from Michigan, but I heard that the winters out here are really rough and icy and snowy. I'm excited to experience my first winter out here, but I'm actually really glad that we have the next startup here to help us with that, which is focusing on defrosting within seconds, and the company is called Betafrost Technologies. Please give it up for Derek.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Derek Redding. I'm CEO at Better Frost Technologies. So electric vehicles today face three large problems related to range. First off, the HVAC system was architected around a gas engine that has a free source of waste heat. Well, that waste heat's no longer available, but we're still using the same architecture for the HVAC, which uses a lot of energy for defrost and defog. The second major problem that EVs face is that range decreases significantly as it gets colder. It drops 20% for each 10 degrees Celsius drop in temperature. The third problem is that EVs cost much more than a comparable gas engine, about $10,000 more, and that's all due to the battery pack cost. So the OEMs are starting to put transparent metallized layers into the windshield. And the reason they're doing this is to reduce solar gain, to reduce the cooling load in the summer. This is the same technology we put into commercial buildings called low-E glass. It's been around for about 20 years. We're having the glass makers put electrical connector on it, and then we're using our controller, which is using an algorithm that was developed at the Dartmouth Ice Lab, where we provide pulsed electricity, so we control the penetration depth of the heat. And the genius of this is we're only trying to melt the interfacial layer of the ice. We're not trying to melt the entire mass of ice. And that interfacial layer is very thin. We're talking about 1/10 of a millimeter. In validation, we clear the glass to a regulatory test, FMVSS 103, in about a minute, whereas most vehicles today take 15 to 20 minutes. And there's three value propositions we offer. The first is that we increase driving range by 38 kilometers per day on an average drive in winter. The second value proposition is that we offer a differentiated customer experience. We can automate the defog so the driver never has to touch a button. We keep the glass completely fog-free. The third value proposition is a smaller HVAC unit. Now, nobody is doing what we are currently doing. In the slide here, this shows a comparison to the current HVAC systems. We use 20 times less energy, and we're 20 times faster. Traction, we raised $2.5 million so far. We have completed successful trials at 2 OEMs and 2 Tier 1s. We have 4 patents granted, and recently we were the winner of the Gamut competition at the SAE World Congress. We have deep automotive and R&D experience. Myself, I've worked at Toyota, JCI Seating, and this is my third mobility startup. We have a very diverse team led by Sami Saad, our CTO, who's sitting right here. They have deep thermodynamics, power electronics, materials engineering, and software. In our advisory team, we have Doug Patton, who is the former Denso North American CTO and also former president at SAE. So in summary, Better Frost is bringing a truly transformative technology to electric vehicles that will extend range and offer a differentiated customer experience that drivers will notice. If you have any questions, be happy to take them. Also welcome you to see our demo vehicle, which is in the back of the plug-and-play startup area. Thank you.
Derek from Better Frost, thank you very much. Now, before we continue, could I get a quick show of hands? I know we have a lot of corporate representatives here in the audience. Who of you or which companies in here have made net zero statements or put them out already? Lots of hands going up. Very nice. The next startup that we have on the stage here today is going to be helping you in getting the carbon under management. And we're excited to have them in here with us all the way from Berlin. It's Carbme, and we have Dominic with us tonight.
Thank you. I'm Dominic from Carbme. I'm very happy to be here today. I believe that we are helping clients to embark in the right way on the journey to net zero. I believe besides keeping our environment alive, this is also a key business case for a lot of companies. And how we are doing that? We are helping the companies and enable them to measure, to reduce, and report their CO2 emissions across the entire supply chain. What does this mean? We take the activities and the transactions of a company, so for example, the purchase orders, the bill of material, also any supplier data, and map it to emission factors. And you know, this is what is a lot of a huge challenge for most of the organizations. I believe most of you have somehow worked on the scope 1 and 2 emissions. But tackling the emissions with your suppliers, that's typically one of the challenges people or companies have moved to the second step. We have the software ready that helps you on the first hand to make a CO2 cube across the entire supply chain, then opens up the supply data, the data to the suppliers, so they can build their specific article-defined emission factors to the products. And then secondly, you can collaborate with them in order to reduce your CO2 emissions with the suppliers. And let's think about a steel manufacturer, for example, ThyssenKrupp in Germany. They have emissions internally, scope 1 and 2, of around 24 million CO2 tons. They have another 24 million tons with their suppliers. And if you're thinking about a certificate price of 100 euro per ton, this means a 5 billion game that they need to tackle, which also goes down the full supply chain until the end consumer. And as this is a call to action to work on your emissions now, because I believe firmly that you need to take what you have today with your suppliers as early as possible out of the system to fund the journey for all the breakthrough initiatives that you need to convey later on. Thank you very much. Any question?
Dominic from CartMe, thank you very much. Thank you. I'll take that. Went fully without slides. Amazing. Now, our next company on the stage is actually, right with us. They have been part of our, I believe, very first ever mobility batch of Plug and Play back in 2016, so it's been a good while. Let's see what has changed since then. Please help me in welcoming Mo from Sheeva.AI on stage.
Hello, everyone, and thanks Plug and Play for hosting us. We're Sheeva.AI. We were founded in 2017, so we've been around for a while, but have been sustaining mostly on customer revenues, actually. So quickly, we're going to talk about the problem that we're solving in the industry, and the problem statement, a little bit about the company, our solution with calibration, and our fundraising strategy. So as you know, future of mobility and autonomy is enabled by sensors, ADAS, AV, drones, all kind of computer vision, multi-sensor solutions need a lot more sensors. And specifically in the ADAS space, AV may need a long time to happen, but ADAS is here today and is growing. Whether it's emergency braking, whether it's adaptive cruise control, highway level 4 autonomy, etc., you need more and more sensors, from cameras to radars to LiDARs and so on. And by regulation now in Europe and in America, you have to have basic ADAS capabilities. So the number of ADAS vehicles is increasing. I'm trying to establish that there is a big market and there is an important problem. If you don't agree with the market and the problem, you're not going to like the company. So I hope that we can kind of establish that. So because you need more sensors, you need more calibration. And calibration is required for the safety of the autonomous operation. I'll talk a little bit more about that shortly. But the moment you set calibration, who here has gotten a windshield replacement in their car before? So when you got windshield replacement, did you have to do ADAS camera calibration? Anybody knows? So if you paid like $600-700 for a windshield replacement, there's probably $200 that you paid for ADAS recalibration for your camera. And so for small accidents, for wear and tear, temperature changes, pressure changes, even if you change your bumper or you get into a small bumper-to-bumper accident, you need to recalibrate your sensors. And the bumpers have a lot of sensors on them these days. So today, when you have to recalibrate your sensor, it's a very fragmented experience. Each sensor from each OEM needs specific targets, needs a special calibration operation, and it takes a long time. The dealerships and the service centers have to buy custom hardware for every vehicle manufacturer, and the whole process is really just very sucky. And obviously, if you don't calibrate properly, your lane keep assistance, your lane departure warning, your automated braking, all of these features may actually not function correctly. So if I drive a Volvo, and it's a great car, but sometimes it hallucinates stuff. Or when I'm trying to keep inside in the middle of the lane, it starts to drift or gives me a sudden brake. That's usually a calibration problem. So the problem that we're solving is that calibration is expensive, $200 for aftermarket calibration. It's time consuming, requires skilled labor. And as we know now, skilled labor is really hard to find, if you can find it even. It doesn't scale, so if you have a fleet of autonomous vehicles or ADAS vehicles that you need to calibrate, I had to wait 2 weeks to get my car calibrated at the aftermarket dealership, which was just not that great. And because of the fragmentation, the sensors coming from one provider, the ADAS system is coming from a tier 1, and the OEM is integrating the whole thing, there's not a lot of information sharing. So what ends up happening is that you do a lot of trial and error. There is no real way to properly do the calibration very quickly. So that's the problem we're solving. Like I said, we've been around for 5 years, and we started in data annotation. We were one of the first companies that did LiDAR annotation back in 2017. We're an ex-Google team. We've all been startup veterans. And you can read more about the team, but pretty much everybody that in the team has been in a startup exit or 2 or 3 before. And we've been sustaining on revenues from customers since day 1, doing LiDAR and sensor fusion annotation for some of the best teams in the world: Neuro, Ford, Denso, Daimler Trucks, Bosch, ZF, etc. We've had 50 plus customers over the years. And with calibration, now you see the list of customers that are using our calibration: Honda, Toyota, Hitachi, that is using our calibration tool. So how do we set ourselves apart? I'm going to wrap up. We have 50 plus relationships with the automotive tier 1s and OEMs. We have sustainable revenues and very slow burn rate. Our solution addresses all of the problems that I mentioned earlier. We have a defensible IP and a full suite of products that addresses that fragmented market. We're raising $10 million for Series A, and we have multiple strategic investors that are coming to the round. We're looking for a finance lead.
If you want to learn more, I think there's plenty of room for space and for questions after. Thank you very much, Mo. Now, the next company that we have up here on the stage doesn't just do AI, but better AI. And we're excited to have Ralph here from Berlin, focusing on deep safety.
Hello together, my name is Ralph. I'm one of the founder of Deep Safety. And our team, our founder team, comes from the automotive industry with long years of experience. And we have developed already 5 autonomous cars, and there is the experience there, and there's also experience in computer science and deep learning. Now, we see ourselves as an AI safety company. What does it mean? So if you're a provider of autonomous vehicle, and can you prove yourself that the system, the predicting the trajectories is doing well, even if there are failures in the sensors? And if not, then keep your system doing the normal function. Don't worry about safety, and let us in and add our technology to take care about safety and reliability. We call it all better AI. And yes, what does it mean, safety? So you have to go through the safety standards. For example, for an SAE level 4, functional safety according to ISO 262. So you have to deal with false positives, false negatives. In case of radar, there's ghost objects. In case of LiDARs, you have problems with water and the reflections. So if you go to the SOTIF, then the nominal performance, there's unknown unknowns you have to address and edge cases. And going further, if you would like to calculate the risk of the object there, then you have to think about how you can control this. So now our technology can detect and correct all these safety issues I addressed. So we developed a safety monitor for the AI, This can detect all these false positives and false negatives, was founded by the German government. And look here on this picture on the right, there's normal AI would say it's a pedestrian crossing the street, but it's not the case. We can see some uncertainty inside, and on the lower picture you see that is because of the uncertainty we cannot really predict. And we can, for all safety critical objects, we can say the real behavior, the planning and the risk behind. And yes, and what is the really big difference, what we are doing other than others? So normal perception, doing test and simulation, trying to increase the knowns. But this is not enough for safety. It's good for comfort, that you have not so many edge cases, but you never complete. And our system, our safety monitor, focused really on the unknowns. And it can really detect all the unknowns. There's a mathematical proof behind. And because of this, we can use our system for safety certification according to the today's standards. And that is really innovative. And yeah, what is in for you if you use our technology? You can drive safely without spending millions of miles. And this is a tremendous cost saving. And you can also use this to improve your system, your perception, because you can all collect the right data, the triggers the recording of the edge cases and train your system. Now we can already demonstrate our system in a Tesla vehicle, and we are looking for 8 million in the next funding round to make this a prototype to a real product. And yeah, if you have interest, we can demonstrate at our booth. And thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Ralph. Now, apologies for the background noise. I know it's a bit unfortunate, but they're setting up the food for after, so also we don't really want to stop them. That being said, to all the speakers, please try to keep the mic close to the mouth and speak up a little. And with that, I'd like to ask our next startup up on this stage. They actually announced a new product just yesterday, and we're super excited to have Stravan here with us to tell us more about Hyperspec's latest launch.
Hey everyone, my name is Shravan Pittagunta. I'm the CEO of Hyperspec. At Hyperspec, our aim is to accelerate the transition to full autonomy by enabling car manufacturers and tier 1 suppliers to teach complex concepts to machines through artificial intelligence. Today we have islands of autonomy, which shows us a glimpse into our future. To expand past these geofenced areas, we need to have ML training infrastructure for each operational design domain. And to train new ODDs, AV vehicles are collecting 50 terabytes of data per day. And if you scale this across a whole fleet, this is a very heavy lift. In addition to that, the valuable safety critical scenarios are buried under thousands of kilometers of sensor data. Identifying these safety critical scenarios is incredibly valuable to reduce waste in computational resources and to accelerate AI training. Developers today are not equipped with the right tools to meet these milestones. They're instead tasked with building infrastructure, which is time away from actual algorithm development. At Hyperspec, we solved this problem. We introduced the concept of a loop. This allows us to collect data, label it, train it, measure the performance, and deploy these ML models back out to the fleet. It is estimated that any ADAS or AV program needs to iterate on this loop 10,000 times to meet the safety requirements of going into production. We exercise this loop using your sensor data. Your data, your models, is our mantra for accelerating and obtaining faster iterations for ML model deployment to your fleets. We train the machine learning models using scenarios that have corresponding ground truth information. And we augment these real-world scenarios with synthetic data to further increase the performance. Today, without HyperSpec, there's a very cumbersome process to true the machine learning because there's a lot of disparate tools that don't work together. With HyperSpec, we streamline the whole process through a unified product experience. The end impact is there's a 10x increase in your release cadence for ML models, better task coverage, and a path forward to conquer the long tail. We are a team of 12 people focused on streamlining the process for ML model development. And our machine learning, computer vision, and mapping background enables us to understand the problems of your ML developers and address their concerns and accelerate the roadmaps for ML development and deployment to the AV fleets. So please talk to us. We're HyperSpec, and I'm Shravan. Thank you.
Our next company up on the stage is all about adventure. In fact, they upcycle used U-Hauls and give them a second life. Super excited to learn more. Please give it up for Hyvisa, Mouse McCoy.
Good afternoon, everybody. It's great to be in Detroit, launching an automotive venture. So at Hyvista, we're taking a fresh view on the adventure mobility space through the lens of sustainability. Our first product clearly represents our vision. It started its life in Detroit, here as a Ford van. It lived and worked as a U-Haul delivery van until it was decommissioned. Now it's being reborn as a showroom quality plug-in electric hybrid four-wheel drive here in Detroit. So why? Why are we doing this? Well, upcycling is transformative. To take end-of-life systems, automobiles, and give them a new life. Detroit's done an amazing job building great product, and a lot of times automotive product is decommissioned or put into the grave too early. We think there's tremendous opportunity to upcycle. And when you couple, and really when you look at upcycling, the majority of the carbon footprint, or a significant amount of the carbon footprint of a vehicle, is the mining of the minerals, the transportation, and the manufacturing. We're starting at an end of life. Also, when you combine upcycling with electrification, now we get the opportunity to create a movement. Detroit's known movements before. The hot rod movement was here. The maker movement was here. And now we think upcycling will definitely become a new movement in automotive. So, next question, how are we going to execute our vision? Well, we're going to start by partnering with two great American companies. U-Haul decommissions thousands of high-quality moving vans every year. So we're going to start with our supply chain with U-Haul. And then we've come back to Roush in Detroit. We're from California, and the only way to get this done was to come back to Detroit. So Roush has done an amazing job of looking at the future and setting up on-demand engineering services, and flexible manufacturing and assembly. So we're going to be able to launch this company without having to build any factories. There's some other trends emerging. With direct-to-consumer and an on-demand sales model, we think that, and we know we're going to be able to execute and launch a car company for an exponentially lower price than has been previously imagined. And this is also allowing us to have a clean trajectory on $1 billion in revenue in 5 years. So who cares? Who wants this? Well, turns out there's an entire category of active recreational enthusiasts that are underserved. Currently, there's no product. But now it's getting juiced, if you will. So there is a true explosion in the electrified power sports market. Electric motorcycles, mountain bikes, surfboards, snowmobiles, side-by-sides. We asked ourselves a question. How are you going to charge them? How are you going to transport them? So quickly, we're looking at modularity on demand. So full bedroom there, There, room for all your gear. So now you can bring all your toys, everything with your family needs, or you and your friends for recreation. This vehicle will literally be a rolling power supply with a massive amount of solar on the roof and the hybrid system. We will be able to charge this movement. So at the end of the day here at High Vista, whether it's work, live, or play, we want to create a clean path forward to help people get out of the race and find their space. Thank you. Any questions?
Hi Vista, everybody. Thank you so much, Mouse. Now, those of you that drive cars and might regularly check the tires know it's a bit of a process. I know there's little penny tests, all of that. Kind of gruesome. Well, the next company that we have here today is here, in fact, to change that. And the company is called Mojo. We're super excited to have Kenny with us, so please give him a warm welcome.
Hey, Detroit. I grew up just a few blocks from here, so great to be home. We're a Vancouver, British Columbia-based company, and thus far we've connected over 1.5 million vehicles on our platform. We're a Tier 1 supplier supplying Audi and Volkswagen, and I'm excited to talk about our next innovation today. So, what's the common thing in every electric, gas, and hybrid vehicle? They all have tires. What's also common is that if your tires are worn out, you're 3 times more likely to get in an accident. But people don't do what they're supposed to do, like flossing your teeth. They also don't check their tires every month like they should. And if you look at it, over half the people have no idea what status their tires are in. And this problem is getting worse. If you look at electric vehicles, more weight, more torque. We've got a Model X in our family, and that thing burns through the rubber. You're wearing out tires much faster. So the chance of having worn tires and having a problem is getting higher. Problem is, no real easy way to figure out what's going on with your tire. Tire pressure tells you what's going on inside the tire, but there's no good way to figure out what's going on outside the tire, until now. Now, it's a huge business, a couple $100 billion and growing, and again, it's accelerating with electric vehicles. So we have been thinking about this and working on it for quite a while. We've been scanning tens of thousands of tires of all different kinds. We've been rolling up our sleeves in tire recycling centers and car auction lots, and even sneaking into airports and taking pictures of all kinds of tires to figure out what's a good tire and what's a bad tire. Our team on this is a PhD in AI from the UK, Dr. Alan Messer, who is former CTO of General Motors Connected Car. We've now received our patent and are launching our tire scanning system. So what is it? Old way, stick a penny in the tire, get dirty, crawl under the tire. Try to figure out what tire you have, what tire you should buy, and then sorting through all the tires at the tire shop. Our system is very simple, and it's simple by design so that people will actually do it. You take any smartphone, take a picture of the tire, our AI system up in the cloud does all the hard work, and then lets you know good, bad, or marginal. And we take it a step further. We actually scan the side of the tire so we can connect you with the exact right tire for your vehicle. Now, if your car happens to be on our platform, one of the 1.5 million vehicles already on the platform, we know what you drive, where you drive, how you drive. We can help nudge you to the right tire based on whether you're a commuter or an off-roader or you're burning rubber like we are in our family. Now, the great thing about this is it's simple, you don't get dirty, and it's also a way for a user to engage with OEMs or tire companies' apps. It gives you something to do. Once a month, take a quick snapshot, and we let you know if you need new tires. And if you do need new tires, we built in an experience to make it very easy to take the picture, say yes to a new tire, and either get it delivered on your car or at the local shop. Takes all the headache out of it. You know when, and you know what. Good tread, poor tread, critical. I won't go into the details of the AI, but it works. We've gone from the mid-80s in accuracy in the first 10,000 images. We're up over 30,000 images. We're in the high 90s now, and the spec we need to meet for our OEM customers, we've already passed. So this is working, it's in production, and the kind of customers that would use it are people that care about safety, which is hopefully every car company, and people that want to make money off tire sales. So this also not only keeps people safe, but it creates a tire transaction. and it creates the correct tire transaction for the right model tire for your vehicle and how you drive. These are all the potential customers. We've got quite a few interested. Of course, we're building into our own apps that are used by 1.5 million car owners, but we made it simple so it can be built into anyone else's app. So if BMW wants to put this into their app, or Ford, they can. We've already done the UI and the UX. It's under their brand. We all do the hard work in the cloud, and our business model is charging a small transaction fee for every tire. Every company that uses this will obviously make a lot more money on the tire transactions. And that's Mojio. So thank you, and hope you have a great rest of the show. Welcome to Detroit.
Thank you very much. Our following speaker, Chuck, is here focusing on 3D thermal ranging to make autonomous driving safer. And we're happy to have him here for our autonomous imaging. There you go.
All right, hello. My name is Chuck Gershman. I am the co-founder and CEO at OWL Autonomous Imaging. And quite simply, our mission is to save lives. Now, recently, just last week, IIHS took NHTSA's most recent proposal for NCAP testing and tested 23 vehicles in the dark for pedestrian safety. 22 of them annihilated the dummies. So a total and complete fail. The proposed regulations that NHTSA has put forward will become regulated and become permanent in November. At that time, all vehicles to receive an NCAP rating 5-star need to be able to successfully pass these tests in total darkness without hitting the various pedestrians. And this is a real problem. So just so you know, over the last 11 years, pedestrian fatalities have increased by 59% in the United States alone, a huge increase. And it is now regulated within the infrastructure bill that NHTSA must address this issue. Now, why are these cars failing? They're failing because they're relying on a camera and a radar system to work together flawlessly. The problem is that cameras are not ideal systems to work at night. And as the cameras degrade, you must take the camera data and you need to fuse it with the radar data. An unsuccessful fusion or an ambiguity in the fusion causes the failure mechanism. So we propose that you add another modality to cover this gap. We call that modality 3D thermal ranging. Now, why? Thermal is the ideal modality to see living objects, pedestrians, bikelists, even animals. It works simply better than any other modality, and it works night or day and in any weather condition. So under degraded environments, it still works. It sees significantly better than any camera ever will. So if you add the thermal capability to the camera and the radar, you cover all of the gaps, and you successfully create a system that can automatically stop for pedestrians night or day for the first time. And that's what we're currently demonstrating, and that's what we have on test vehicles that we're testing. So traditionally, there have been thermal cameras, and there have been thermal cameras in cars for alert-based systems. But what we're introducing is something called 3D monocular thermal ranging, where we take an individual thermal camera and we add a computer vision capability to take a 2D image and turn it into a 3D point cloud in the thermal domain. And we're the only company in the world that has ever demonstrated this or is demonstrating it today. And we are soon to introduce an HD version of that. So today's state-of-the-art in thermal cameras is VGA. We will introduce a megapixel camera, which is currently in fabrication right now, and we will prototype it early next year. So that's a full megapixel. By the way, to be clear, a megapixel of thermal is equivalent to a 3 or 4 megapixel visual. Our technology is award-winning. Our computer vision has been named the silver medalist by AutoSense and won the Argonne Hot Vendor of the Year award for our computer vision capability, which is the ranging. And just this week at AutoSense in Brussels, we won the gold medal for the hardware product of the year, which we're very, very excited about. Yes, you can clap. And I hope, but I see the technology is unable to run my video. Are you able to run this video? I'm getting a blank stare. I guess not. Well, there you go. So this is our team. We just closed the Series A earlier this year. We've been around since 2019. And if you want to see the videos where we can demonstrate the capability that we just showed you, you're welcome to come by our booth where all the videos actually run on the technology. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Chuck. Yeah, if you want to see the video, check out the booth, and I'm sure he'll be able to show it there. Now, the next company that we have on the stage already got a very nice shout out earlier by Mamasa from Stellantis, and I'm sure you're all dying to hear from the founders themselves, so please give it up for Sheeva from Virginia.
Hello, everyone. Really nice to be back in Detroit and to see a few familiar faces here. Really appreciate being here in person. Thank you so much for the opportunity here to present what we call digital vehicle wallet. First was cash, then we used cards, today we use smartphones. Why can't we use vehicles to pay and then get transaction revenue back here in Detroit? It all started with my personal experience driving my pregnant wife to hospital, going all the way to the parking meter, taking the receipt, putting it back on the dash. Why can't I just park and walk away? Why the vehicle cannot handle that for me? So that is where we came up with a solution that requires no new infrastructure and no new apps. It's just fully digital, fully in the cloud, using the vehicle location to authorize and authenticate the payments. In-vehicle payments market is growing. There is no such thing as a digital wallet for the vehicle today. However, we understand that the vehicle commerce is the future and it needs to happen. The vehicle needs to process transactions, it needs to trigger the transactions. One of the problems that we have is you go to the fuel station, you have to pick up that credit card of your wallet. You go to the parking, you have to figure out something else, go pay at the meter. EV charging is the same thing, tolls, all of this is different accounts, a disconnected experience, multiple payment methods. Then the merchants have no idea who you are. I love the quote from the fuel station retail director who says, hey, you know, I have 1 million transactions a day, I have no idea who these people are. Now, that is something that they would love to see from the driver itself, and that is where Sheeva provides automatic contactless payments, enhanced geolocation, and turning the vehicle into the wallet. It can enable multiple use cases. It's all in the cloud. Once the vehicle is integrated, it can be tolls, it can be drive-through, it can be curbside retail, fuel, charge station, parking, everything included. This is just one example of how it's delivered, and thanks, Martha, again, for the shout out there. It's interface agnostic, but we basically try to do it directly on the in-vehicle infotainment screen, where you can just activate with one tap, and then from within the car, your gas pump activates automatically. We integrated the software stack only, no hardware involved. It goes inside the vehicle, but then everything is delivered in the cloud itself. So that is very easy for the OEMs to launch. We are using precise geolocation. We're cross-platform, and the biggest advantage of this is you arrive at the gas pump, it tells you, welcome to Shell, you're gas pump number 7, activate, one touch. And then it activates, and it charges your credit card on file. This is just a quick demo here in Detroit Marshes Park, Campus Marshes Park, and this just shows how more accurate our location is and how it's important to detect you right at that parking space or right at that gas pump. We have been in business since 2016 when I started the company, and then we are going into mass production next year. We are working with multiple tier 1 suppliers who are obviously owning the software stack of the IVI, but also OEMs, and again, Martha mentioned one of them, which I cannot bring up here. And all of this is about the transactions and transactional revenue, and then the business model itself is based on giving back to the OEMs. So OEMs are the clients. We give back about $10 per user per year back to the OEMs from the transactions, as we make money from transactions themselves as convenience fees. We're about 50 people today. We're a pretty experienced executive team. We have Adam Rolls here, who is actually here based in Sterling Heights, where we have an office in Michigan. He is coming from Faurecia and Lear, so really automotive guy. I used to work with federal government before in Washington, D.C., and then Surendra and Lokesh are our CEO and CTO. Thank you so much. Appreciate your time.
Thank you very much, Sheeva. Taking that back from you, amazing. Now, getting new hires up to speed can be quite a process, so we're very lucky that the next startup that we have on the stage is actually here to change that, working on operational knowledge for frontline workers. It's a company called Sheeva.AI from the Netherlands, and we're super excited to have Dan here, so welcome, Dan.
Yeah, thank you. Great to be here. My name is Dan Assen. I'm one of the founders of the company called Sheeva.AI, and we help companies capture, share, and improve their critical operational knowledge. We do that by capturing it in a cloud platform and delivering it to the frontline workers in frontline apps on any mobile and wearable device. Let me take you through the story of Sheeva.AI. First, starting with the manufacturers, because manufacturers face many challenges nowadays. You have, of course, your supply chain issues, labor shortages, and when you're able to find people, it's really, really hard to get them up to speed. On top of that, you have a brain drain. The brain drain is real, and manufacturers really face the issues of that in terms of productivity, efficiency issues, and problems in really sustainably producing their products. On the one hand, you have the younger generation that is not happy in the job and is leaving because they lack the engagement and the development potential in their job. And on the other hand, you have the older workers that retire and move away from manufacturing companies, taking a lot of knowledge outside of the company because knowledge is not documented. We think Industry 4.0 has all the answers for manufacturing, but in fact, we see that only 26% of the industrial tech cases really scale. And there's one big issue to that. That is the adoption by the front line. Solutions are often too complex and not embraced by frontline workers. So we try to solve that with a solution that's really built for and with the frontline workers. A cloud solution, a mobile solution that enables them to contribute to the capturing of critical operational knowledge. That knowledge can then in companies be easily shared across lines, production sites, and with our data engine behind the platform, we are able to identify the best practice knowledge that can scale across the globe. We work in the automotive industry for several suppliers, but broad in manufacturing, we touch the lives of over 300,000 frontline workers every day. We work in 93 countries, and besides the automotive brands, for other big brands like Heineken, Coca-Cola, and PepsiCo. The advantage that we bring to them is competitive advantage in many areas like productivity and efficiency. So we're quicker in upskilling people, we reduced changeover times, we help them improve their 5S scores, and many, many other things that lead to competitive advantage. We do that with a team of 32 Swipeys that work in a hybrid organization. So we have 2 touch points. We have one office in Amsterdam and one in Minneapolis. But as you can see here in the picture, we often work remotely. We have a very diverse team, of course, with many software developers, but we have over 15 nationalities now in the team. And together with our clients, we work towards an error-free future by making the knowledge available to the front line. Thank you very much.
Thank you, well done. Thank you. And last but not least, we have a startup from the area, from Detroit, super excited, making electrification as hassle-free as can be. Please give it up for Will.
So thank you guys. Thank you to our judges. Thank you to Plug and Play. Thank you to all the rest of you guys for coming out and supporting us and let us present our solution to you. My name is William McCoy. I'm with VIA. And VIA is the electrification of things made easy. Now, we've seen these headlines, and as a father, right, I'm concerned. Shrinking lakes, we see floods, but this is not a doom and gloom story, right? I'm actually pretty excited because we have aggressive goals like these that are coming up. We also just heard that there will be $900 million given to EV infrastructure alone. So our leaders are hearing what we're talking about. They see these issues, and they're trying to apply solutions to them. We have all the tools, right? Our sustainability future relies heavily on electrification. And so that means that things like battery storage, EV chargers, and solar are going to be essential to us getting to our sustainability goals. Now, why isn't this happening as quickly as possible, right? Well, I want to see how many of you guys probably have some type of project at your home or office right now that you know that you have to do, and you're just like, every single time you think about it, you're just like, oh my God, and you keep kicking the can down the road. Well, think about the millions of people right now who do that when it comes to this, including myself, right? And when you think about scheduling, and when you think about finding a contract and the right products, it can become a hassle. That's why there's VIA. VIA connects the sustainability product makers like auto manufacturers, EVSE manufacturers, electric vehicle chargers, solar, to certified vetted electricians. Because honestly, how many of us actually even check the electricians or contractors that come out to our house to make sure that they actually are? Well, that's what we do for you guys. We give you an easy-to-use, simple platform that's educational, right? But also very easy for both the electrician, the product producer, and then the consumer to use so that we can deliver those projects and those products to both commercial and residential customers. Our team is diverse, right? They come from auto industry, they come from sustainability, and plenty of experience in the startup world. And we understand that in order for us to reach these sustainability goals in the time frame that we're looking for, we have to make it simple. And so that's why VIA is the electrification of things made easy. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now that was the last startup of the day. You've seen all 13 pitches. Please give it up for them again for flying all the way out here and making it on the stage. Now, I wouldn't want to be sitting in any of your chairs here, any of these 12, because it's going to be a really tough decision to make and to define the winner of the night. For that, I'd actually like to invite all of the judges to follow me out to that side to discuss who's going to be the winner, whom to crown. But don't worry, I won't be leaving you without anyone on the stage. I'd, in fact, like to hand it over to my colleague Johannes to tell you a little more about what we're doing here in Detroit and where we're taking things next. So we'll be back soon.
All right. Thank you very much, Alina. And thanks to all the startups. There was some exciting startup pitches. So we're looking forward to see what the judges will decide today. Really curious. I have my favorite. I'm curious what you guys will decide. So we have about 10-15 minutes, which will give the judges to decide who's going to be the winner. And I know we're the last 10-15 minutes here before drinks, and I'm promised they are setting up drinks right now. You can hear it. But we decided this time at the last event, we actually had drinks during the event, and it got a little bit rowdy and loud. So please keep like 10-15 minutes. We'll announce the winner, and then we'll go. I wanted to introduce myself real quick. My name is Johannes Roth. I'm heading our corporate partnerships here at Plug and Play, and I'm overseeing our activities in Silicon Valley as well as here in Detroit. And Detroit is very personal for me. I've been working on establishing Detroit, Plug and Play Detroit, for the last 4 years. So I've been traveling here quite a bit. I'm here every month now. I really love like how Detroit is coming together, how everything like a Motor City, like the OEMs, the tier ones are really collaborating. We heard earlier on from Stellantis what they're doing, and they were a big part in bringing us to Detroit, and I'm really excited to see what's going on in the future here. As I mentioned, like we started Plug and Play Detroit here in January 2020, so talking about great timing, we kicked right into like a virtual setting, but I wanted to say a big shout out to our founding anchor partners who really supported us through this time. They were super active and engaged, even in a virtual setting. We heard from all the implementations and pilot projects Stellantis has been doing already, so big shout out to Stellantis, MSTC, and Borg Warner to really be our founding anchor partners, and also OFME. OFME has been super helpful in getting us to Detroit. We had many, many events together with them even before we had Plug and Play Detroit, and they were really essential and crucial for us to come to Detroit. And that's why I wanted to get Trevor Paul here on stage today, the Chief Mobility Officer with very high energy. It's always fun to be on stage with him, I have to say. Maybe we get a rap or something. I'm curious what he's going to do today. But Trevor, please come on stage. It's great to have you here, and thank you very much for all your help to bring us to Detroit.
All right. What up, everybody? What up, Detroit? So, you know what I notice, like, at these sorts of things? these people come out and they pour their souls out. You know how much they probably prepared for their pitch all night. These are people that are up 3 a.m., 4 a.m., and we give them one of these. No. You know who got it right? Iceland, during the World Cup a few years ago, got it right. So I want everyone to stand up. Stand up, stand up. Everyone stand up. Stand up. I'm gonna take my, all right. You guys remember the Viking clap? You remember the Viking clap? So I'm gonna go like this, and you're gonna go like that, okay? All right, everybody ready? You guys in the back too. We're gonna do Viking claps for the people that pitched. All right, and we're gonna speed up. We'll start slow and then we'll speed up. And then at the end, we're all gonna go, hurrah! Okay, all right? Ready? That's how you celebrate a startup. So, all right. So look, guys, I mean, obviously you're in the heart of the Motor City, but you are literally in the heart. Like 5 minutes from here was Henry Ford's first garage. Just down the street, the Dodge brothers got their start. So, I mean, you think about the history of this place, it's continuing. And frankly, you know, aerial mobility may seem a little different. Charles Lindbergh was born down the street. William Boeing was born down the street. I like ran out of breath, by the way. There's a lot. But the point is, guys, you are continuing a rich tradition, not just by pitching, not just by thinking of amazing ideas and bringing them to market, but supporting, sitting here for hours when you probably had 10 other things to do. So the big question I think a lot of these startups have, and even some of you that didn't pitch today, is what the hell do we do now? What's the next step? I will tell you the next step. The state of Michigan is going to continue to roll out grants to you and to communities that are in need, that have a mobility challenge. We have a program that's run by Catherine Snorrison, whose birthday it is today, happy birthday, and Charlie Tyson, who are the wind beneath my wings and really do lead all the different mobility, including the Plug and Play partnership, all the different mobility initiatives that the state and the governor bring to task. So visit michiganbusiness.org/OFME, and you'll find the Michigan Mobility Funding Platform. So every quarter, we look for companies and communities that want to work together to solve a problem. It could be first mile, last mile, it could be medical deliveries, it could be helping the elderly, it could be alleviating congestion, unconventional charging situations, and we will cover the cost. There'll be a match, but we will cover most of the cost. What I've found most incredible about this is we typically only ask for 25% match as a state, and we'll cover the rest. For every dollar we're putting down in grant money and taxpayer money, really, we're getting 1,000 in industry match because companies are so fired up, or communities are so fired up about the pilots. So please check out michiganbusiness.org/OFME. We're going to continue to roll out grants, support Plug and Play in Detroit, and support all of you. Thank you for making the show what it is, and I will turn it back to Johannes.
Thank you, Trevor. Thank you, Trevor. Awesome. All right. So now I'll hand it over to my colleague, Logan.
All right, what's up? Thank you so much, Trevor, for those words of inspiration. It's truly been a pleasure to work with you over the last couple of years, and I cannot wait to see where the state of Michigan goes next. All right, I look out, I see everybody here. Thank you so much, both everybody in attendance as well as the judges who are in the back right now, for not only supporting us here today, but allowing us to continue to grow. For those of you who don't already know me, my name is Logan Azelton, and I'm leading the Detroit Corporate Partnerships here out of Michigan. So what I'm doing is I'm working with each one of our different corporate partners in order to foster collaborative approaches towards their different tech challenges. See this? No worries. So I'm putting not only just the OEMs, the tier ones, and the governments all in one room, but I'm also adding that startup entrepreneur piece to really drive those initiatives forward within the state. So working so far, of course, with those founding anchor partners, Stellantis, MMSDC, the OFME, as well as BorgWarner, who really paved the way to allow us to work here in Michigan and allow us to grow, and now starting to work with new partners on the platform, including GM, Google, Tenneco, Sanyo Trading, and Joyce & Quinn. But of course, we're not just gonna stop there. So we're super excited now to introduce you guys to a couple of the new partners on our platform, starting with Motional. For those of you who don't already know, Motional is the world's leading robo-taxi service. What they're doing is they're working to drive safe, reliable, and accessible robo-taxis and driverless cars for everybody out there. What they're doing is they've already successfully completed over 100,000 different autonomous trips without a driver, with 0 accidents and a 5-star rating. So if we could give a big round of applause to our newest partner, Motional, we're super excited. If anyone wants to learn more, we'll be around in the back. I would now like to turn it over to our next corporate partner from Maxion Structural Components. Out there, do we have Rodrigo Perez? There he is. Let's give him a nice round of applause on his way up here. Come on up, Rodrigo. We're super excited. Rodrigo came all the way down here from Mexico to join us today. We're super excited to have them on the platform. So here's Rodrigo with some wise words.
Hello, everyone. I'm Rodrigo Perez from Mexico, Maxion Structural Components. We are focused on commercial trucks like the one that you saw back there in Harbinger or DTNA, Navistar, and so on. So we are very happy to be part of this partnership, that's a way to say. So just that. Thank you. Really appreciate this participation, and glad to hear all these startups.
All right. Thank you very much. And now, next, we wanted to, last but not least, we wanted to introduce you our new corporate partner, Ricardo, and I wanted to welcome Jeff Nichols here on stage to share some few words. We already know since several years, and really exciting to work with you now.
Thank you, Johannes. Thank you, Logan. Yeah, really excited to be a new member with the Plug and Play team. Ricardo is an innovation company. We are a global technology ecosystem. We work with many of the OEMs around the world. We work with tier ones. Myself, I'm in charge of emerging and disruptive technologies. So this is very important for us today. As well, I also work with the investor support. So tying money with technology is two great places to be. And again, thank you for the opportunity. Johannes and Logan have been fantastic for us. Have involved us with our ecosystems. We've had private pitch sessions at our Detroit Technical Campus, and we're looking to do more of that globally. So again, thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you. Awesome. Let's put it over there. And as you can see here, we're growing our corporate ecosystem, and we're getting about 1 new corporate partner every month now since like last year, which is exciting. And now we have a total of 12 corporate partners here on the platform. There's some new announcements coming soon. And with that, before we hand it over to drinks, we will get the judges back here on stage if they're ready. I see they're still discussing, but I also wanted to get the Plug and Play team here on stage. And the judges, yes, they are coming. All right, looks like there has been a decision made. So I will hand it over to my colleague Brooke to make the announcement here.
All right, I think we got to get some confetti bombs too going. Yeah, get one. And our judges, actually, guys, I'm going to welcome you on stage if you want to come up now. Don't sit down. Sorry, Tom. All right, again, I want to thank everybody for coming for the first pitch night that we've hosted here. We are going to announce the top 3, starting with 3rd place, and our 3rd place can come on. 2nd place, come on, and then when we announce first, we'll do the confetti bombs, and that'll, yeah. All right, are we ready? All right, 3rd place. The Adventure Guys, High Vista, please come up, 3rd place. Awesome. Mouse and Jeff. Congrats, guys. Congrats. We'll stand on stage for the picture. All right. 2nd place, we have Better Frost. Better Frost wants to come up. All right, congratulations, stay on page. All right, we have the confetti ready. This has been like my thing, so like it's gotta go off. All right, and the winner of the Plug and Play Detroit pitch competition is Owl. Where are you at, Owl? Jeez. Congratulations. award for you. Here's the Plug and Play Award. And I think we need to get a group photo, so just stay on for the group photo. Otherwise, we have drink tickets going. We'll be going very shortly. And we're having networking. So stick around, hang out with us. We're really excited to have you all here, and let's talk. Let's have a good time.